Chicago's Morning Answer, Amy Jacobson here. John Anthony sitting in for Dan Proft on this solemn day where we're learning more and more about that gruesome, well-planned attack against Israel by those Hamas terrorists. Yes, we're using the T word here at AM 560. And Iran obviously funded this attack, but don't worry, John Anthony, it wasn't the $6 billion that we just gave them in exchange for prisoners.
Not a single cent has been spent from that account. When any money is spent from that account, it can only be used for medical supplies, for food, for medicine. And those who are saying otherwise are either misinformed or misinforming.
Can I say something real quick?
Of course.
So let's just say I know I have $6 billion that I can use for medical supplies. And let's just say I have this money that I was going to spend for medical supplies.
That you might have gotten from President Obama.
Right. Why can't I use that said money to fund the terrorists and then start spending the other money for the supplies?
Well, President Trump responded.
The Israeli attack was made because we are perceived as being weak and ineffective.
And Governor DeSantis.
Iran funds Hamas. The Biden administration has made that a lot easier by being weak on sanctions.
With more on this and other issues, let's welcome to the program our very, very dear friend, David Hochberg. Good morning, Mr. Hochberg. How are you?
Hey, guys. How are you? Good morning.
Vice President of Lending of Team Hochberg at Homeside Financial. And we are going to talk about finances. But first, where were you when you heard the news? And how are you doing with your family?
No, I woke up and I heard the news. I'm like, what? What's going on here? Right? I get up early every day anyway. So turn on the TV. They're like, insurgents in, Hamas has attacked Israel. So I'm thinking, all right, well, the Israelis will clean that up real quick. And then I kept listening and it kept getting worse and worse. And the first thing I thought of was all my friends who have family there. Because I'm friends with a lot of Israelis, and then a lot of my friends married Israelis. And as I'm texting people last night just to see how they are and their families are, I called to set up an appointment with the guy downtown Wednesday, and he's like, it's crazy in Israel, huh? I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. He's like, yeah, my brother's there. I'm like, your brother? He's like, yeah, he married an Israeli, and 4 of his kids just got called up. I'm like, just absolute crazy. We have a friend of the family here whose daughter took a skip year. I guess they go traveling instead of going to college, whatever they call it. She's there. They just got her on a flight. She was in Tel Aviv in a high-rise, in a bunker in a high-rise, freaking out. So, yeah, it's pretty scary. It's a whole level, another level, right? It's a whole nother level. And everybody's like, well, the Israelis, this. I'm like, here, listen, let me break it down for you, okay? It would be like the people in Munster, Indiana, firing mortar shells into the south side of Chicago. It's like the people in Chesterton, Indiana, firing 1,000 rockets into the city of Chicago. What do you think we're going to do? Just sit around and say, oh, those are just the Hamas. Yeah, we'll get over it. Nope. No, eventually, what do? They break through the line and they start killing people in their sleep with their mothers and fathers and 250, 60 kids at a concert for peace in the desert. I mean, this is terrorism. This is exactly what you said. If people are afraid to say it what it is, right? It's scary stuff, man.
I know, but how could the Israeli is one of the most intelligent, forceful armies in the world. How did this happen? I'm sure you saw it when the rockets were being launched. You see people on power glides coming in, and you see drones dropping bombs. I mean, this has been planned for a long time, don't you think?
I fell asleep. Well, I just heard on the morning news this morning that they were planning it for 2 years. They built cities or kibbutzes in Gaza and did trial runs and practiced this terrorism tactics to make sure they had it down. Congratulations, Hamas. You succeeded in your attempt to kill innocent men and women sleeping. Guess what? Here comes the IDF. And guess what? They're not going to F around. Okay, right. They're going to these. So, I don't want to hear anything. Listen, I feel horrible for the innocent people in Gaza, just like I feel horrible for the innocent people in all of these kibbutzim and all of these cities along the Gaza wall. Okay, I feel horrible for the innocent people. But guess what? If you would have taken the billions of dollars, I'm talking starts with a B, the tens of billions of dollars over the years that Hamas has gotten to rain terror on Israel, to build up that Gaza Strip, you'd have an economic powerhouse on the sea. Okay, they elected to take the money that they've gotten from terrorist organizations to buy rockets, to build terrorist organizations, to build tunnels instead of building schools and hospitals and building a business structure there. So if you take the billions of dollars, and that's what listeners, I don't think, fully comprehend. There's been billions of dollars pumped into the Gaza Strip. And everybody's like, oh, the Gaza Strip is this, the Gaza Strip is that. Okay, great. If you would have taken the billions of dollars that you've gotten and invested it in infrastructure, into schools, into housing, into hospitals, into universities, you'd have an economic powerhouse at the end of Israel right there that would rival anywhere else. You've got access to the sea. You've got access. Yes, Israel, you're under Israeli control. I get it. But, look at the West Bank.
But troops moved out in 2005, right? I mean.
Right. And that, listen, I'm not an Israeli expert here. I am not an expert on Israeli-Palestinian relations at all. Okay. I'm a Jewish guy from Northbrook who's got friends and family from Israel. I hear from them. I seen what's going on. I saw the body bags. I saw the bodies covered up in the desert underneath that tent. It's disgusting. Okay, I mean, you're fighting rocket-propelled grenades into people instead of vehicles to blow them up. I mean, you're slitting people's throats while they're running away from you at a concert in the middle of the desert. I mean, what kind of animals are these? So, listen. Again, I'm not an Israeli-Palestinian or Hamas expert on terrorism or anything in the Midwest. I mean, in the Mideast. I'm just telling you how I feel because you asked me. I know the capabilities of the IDF because I have friends and family, not family, but friends and their family who are in the IDF. They tell me the capabilities, and guess what? You want to punch somebody, you're going to get punched back.
Game on. I mean, they said that they plan to isolate the Gaza Strip, building up kind of a border wall or a blockade around it, cutting off electricity, food, and gasoline. So that's, the IDF spokesperson came out and said, this is our plan. Yeah. But then you still have those 100 or so people that have been held kidnapped, including a 86-year-old woman in a wheelchair who survived the Holocaust.
Yeah.
They grabbed
who's
her
a huge threat to them, right? I mean, which is a huge threat to them. I mean, listen, again, you punch somebody in the face, what do? You could either punch somebody, in the throat back and grab them by the, privates and punch back harder. The IDF is teaming up. 300,000 reservists have been called up. The Israeli Defense Organization, got lazy, fell asleep, got caught sleeping. And guess what? They're fully awake now. And guess what? They've got more toys than the Hamas does.
Yeah. So, it was a huge intelligence failure.
Hey, David, it's called night-night. You hit me, I get to defend myself. It's night-night for you. You're not gonna come at me again.
Right. So we'll see, and then you'll get. Listen, if you're firing rockets from a building 3 to 4 miles away, and you blow up the building, don't be mad at the Israelis for blowing up the building where you're firing rockets from. Right. Okay, they're defending themselves, and I feel horrible for the innocent people that live around those buildings, but. That's what's going to happen when rockets come from your backyard. Yeah. All right?
David, here's my solution. In the talk of a two-state, the land belongs to the state of Israel. Allow Israel to operate like a country. That's who they are.
Yep.
I'm sick. I'm tired of this. I was going to say something that I know I can't say on air.
You can say it, but you get kicked off.
Right, I get kicked off. But I'm sick and tired.
Bleep you.
No, I won't say it. I don't use profanity, so. But I'm sick and tired of these people placating these terrorist countries. Obliterate them. Get rid of them. I'm talking about if we got to drop Moab on Gaza, drop Moab. I'm sorry. Drop Moab on them. We got to teach them.
What about the innocent civilians?
Okay, hopefully.
They're not all Hamas
Hey,
or
casualties
Hezbollah.
of war. Casualties of war. It's unfortunate, but in you know how we won World War I, World War II? We none of that matter. We went and there was an enemy that wanted to destroy us. We went and we destroyed the enemy. And if we ever get back to that war thinking, countries, these terrorists won't come after us. They only understand power. That's the only thing they understand.
I'm just so worried that, with the war in Ukraine right now, and then this could give China a chance to invade Taiwan, that we're looking at World War III.
That's going to happen next under this weak and feckless leader.
I mentioned this. I was on another radio show last week, and somebody's like, "What's going on out there?" I'm like, "It's like a Tom Clancy novel, and we're only on page 150, right? It's just everything is moving. You got economic turmoil. You got Ukraine. You got fertilizer prices going up. You've got Russia. You got China. You got North Korea. I mean, it's like Taiwan. It's literally like a Tom Clancy 500-page novel I used to read back in the day, and it took you 150 to 200 pages just to get through to figure out what the hell's going on, who the players are, right? And now we're like living the last 300 pages of a Tom Clancy novel.
Yeah. And you know what?
Scary.
When you look at, they didn't care about the innocent.
Totally.
When they attacked, they actually
they invaded homes. And thank God some people. We had the Consul General of Israel on in the 7:00 hour, Mr. Cohen.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, well, were some Israeli families armed and fight back? He goes, oh, yeah, we're still getting numbers. But when Hamas invaded their house, they blew them away.
They weren't ready. They weren't ready.
A lot of them were not ready, but some were ready.
Yeah.
So kudos to them that were armed and ready to go.
Have you ever been to Israel, Amy?
I have
you ever been
not.
to Israel?
No.
Okay. I went to Israel about 20 years ago on a JUF mission, singles mission when I was single. Met my wife and blah blah blah. And the one thing you realize when you're in Israel and you walk in the streets, most of the people are carrying around submachine guns slung back in the day. So, just walking around having a coffee, right? They've got sidearms. When the whistle blows, they will reach underneath their bed and grab their gun and run to the battle. They won't run away from it. They'll run towards it. Right now, if you're sitting in the desert enjoying a concert and you hear fire going off, yeah, you're going to run away from that because you've got, you're in the freaking desert enjoying a concert.
Well,
and Palestinians were there, Germans were there, I'm sure Americans were there.
Yeah.
It's sick.
Well, they did it too at 7 a.m. when they knew that they were well inebriated because it was a sunrise concert.
Oh,
so they were all night.
Sure.
Yeah, it was all night, and all these beautiful young ladies who had their whole lives in front of them. Were raped and brutalized, and then the consul general said that after they were raped, their bodies were mutilated.
Wow.
It's mean, you just want
these are people that you want to reason with. Okay,
right.
You can't
There's
reason
no reason
with this.
Exactly.
Golda Meir said back in the day, when the terrorists love their children and their family more than they hate us is when we'll have peace. That was 50-some years ago.
Wow.
Okay, so it hasn't changed. Look it up. It hasn't changed. So it's unfortunate. These are terrorists. These are not love-seeking, peaceful Palestinians. These are terrorists. These are war machines.
Yep.
Right? I'm not throwing the entire Palestinian community into it. These were bad people that created war. They're terrorists. Okay, they killed peaceful, loving Palestinians. They killed their own people at this, throughout the whole thing, and they're going to be killing their own people when the IDF goes in there. The Israeli Defense Forces go in there to defend the people that got killed. Okay, to blow up and to destroy and to eradicate those missile sites, and to blow up and to destroy and to eradicate those training facilities, and to blow up and to destroy and to eradicate the leadership of the terrorist organization that's based out of the Gaza that just infiltrated Israel and killed over 700 people. So that's the baseline that you start with. And unfortunately, they set up these plants, they set up these training facilities in heavily populated areas where innocent people live. So if there is a rocket launching facility or a bomb making facility in your neighborhood, the Israeli Defense Forces is going to go in there and blow it up and take it out so they can't,
but they might use hostage, Jewish hostages as human shields. But I
fully understand.
Yep, I have two questions for you, and if you don't want to answer them, it's fine. If President Trump was in office, do you think this attack would have happened? And why aren't more Jewish Americans Republicans?
I don't. What do you ask me? Why want me to step on a landmine, pull the pin, and count to whenever? I'm a mortgage guy in Northbrook. You asked me about.
Okay,
I don't get into that.
All right, that wasn't fair.
I can answer the question.
I gave you an option out. No, I give. Are you wanting to ask a question?
I can answer the question.
Oh,
it would not have happened had Trump been in office, and I know in his heart of hearts, David knows that.
No, don't.
I'm kidding.
No conjecture on your part when it comes to that. All right, David, real quickly, because the reason why we wanted to have you on originally is about the mortgage business. And
Yeah.
any relief in sight?
How stellar it is, and the rates are so great. No, we're at 23. I got in the mortgage business August of 2000. We're at the same rates as where we were when I got in the business 23 years ago.
Wow.
Is there any hope? Yeah, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac are Fannie Mae's loosening their lending guidelines. We've got programs out there at 1% to get into a home. I know we're going into a break. You're up against a break, but I just want to leave you with this. I ran the numbers before my show this past Saturday. Okay, for all of the listeners who keep saying, I'm going to wait for the market to calm down to get in the market and buy a home. If you said that in 19, you missed it in 20. When you said it in 20, it got stronger in 21, it got stronger in 22, and it got stronger this year even as rates go up. I ran the numbers, guys, and if you buy today at 7.5, 7.75 at 450,000 with 20% down, you get in with $90,000. Okay, and your payment's like $2,670. If you wait for a year and the rates come down to 6.25, what do you think's going to happen with all the buyers that couldn't afford at 6.5 to 7.5 to 7.75? They're going to flood the market and buy homes. It's going to jack the prices of that 450 home up to 525. At 6.25, your payment's exactly the same. It costs you over $10,000 more to get in, and then guess what? You missed the opportunity to pick up that $75,000 worth of equity, and you're going to refinance that at your 7.75% rate back to 6.25 like everybody else, and you're going to be $200 to $300 lower than if you waited. So there's still great opportunities to buy homes. There are more lending opportunities, financing opportunities out there. And I'll leave you with one last thing.
Yes.
Because I just recorded a commercial that's going to be playing on AM 560. For all of those 70% of U.S. homeowners who refinance into a rate under 4% over the past 3 years, congratulations. A majority of those homeowners, guys, have got $20 to $40 to $50 to $60,000 worth of credit card debt. They've got $50,000 to $250,000 worth of student loan debt. And they took out those ridiculously high, which started having to be paid back about 7 days ago. And they've taken out the consolidation loans, the best eggs, and all the SoFi loans that are really sexy, but they've got a ridiculously high rate and a ridiculously high payment. When you take a look at your real sexy low mortgage rate and your ridiculously high amount of debt that you're carrying and compare the payments and combine the payments, 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you it's going to be better to either take out a line of credit to pay off that debt if you have equity, or refinance out of that sexy loan under 4% and consolidate it all together. We're doing them on a daily basis and would love to have the opportunity to just discuss it with your listeners, to give them a free consultation, because they know who they are. They write those checks every single month, and it's not getting any better. So I'm glad you got that sexy rate in the 2s and the 3s, but your other debt is drowning you. And it's not about the rate, it's about the monthly payment. It's not about the rate, it's about the monthly payment. And I'd love to help your listeners calculate.
Okay, where can people reach you real quick? Give us.
Yeah, real quick. 855-568-DAVID. Go to 568david.com. And John, we will do that call this week with your friend.
Okay.
Okay.
That was my question.
Let's get that set up. You got back to me late Friday. It already jumped, and I couldn't do it that day, and last week was a mess.
Okay.
But let's get back. I want to help your friend out this week. Let's get it on the books.
Sounds good.
All right, that's David
All right.
Hochberg, and he joined us on our
opportunity.
Turnkey.pro answering. Thanks, David.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
At Signature Bank, going the distance for business banking customers is what we do every day. We understand that business owners have a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, a plan for growth, and don't have time to wait for a bank to respond. With Signature Bank, you not only have a banking partner that has roots right here in Chicago, but our decisions are made locally too. Signature Bank knows that when you have a question or problem about your business, you want answers. You need someone who will pick up the phone or respond to your text. You need someone who is always there for you. That's Signature Bank. We are a team that wants to get to know you and your business. Want to be Signature Bank's next success story? Give us a call today at 773-467-5630 or visit us online at signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Do you really want to take shots the rest of your life just to lose weight? NJ Diet's typical results are twice as fast as weight loss injections without any of the side effects.